When thinking about starting a similar program, the first question I would ask is, what are our goals? Are we looking at having that social impact? Are we just looking at getting students out of the American mindset and having that global opportunity? Are we looking for just students to have an experiential learning opportunity? What is the point of this program and why are we doing it? Because that can really help shape your program and seeing, what countries are available, what kind of clients you might want based on your goals for that program. I would also look at the countries and see kind of how high of risk you're looking for. Would it just be safer to run a program that students would be interested in a country that students would want to go to? For example, like Spain, it seems to be a very popular destination for study abroad. So would that be a better bet? So that way students could more easily get a visa there perhaps, or more easily afford to go. Another question to ask is, do you have the faculty and staff for this program? Because it does take some managing. It is a semester-long class, and so you do need to be working on the project throughout the semester, as well as traveling with the students, which is never a light lift for a faculty and staff member to be in class all semester and then also travel during their spring break. And then I'd say the regular questions for any study abroad, looking at health, looking at safety, visa requirements, your demographic of the students at your school. And so it might be worth considering if you have more students who would need a visa to go to a certain country. Would that be, do they have a consulate or an embassy nearby? Is that something that's viable? Or would it be better to choose and look at a different country where it'd be easier to obtain a visa? Or perhaps a place to go where they won't need a visa, which again would be the easiest thing of all. And then I would say just plan very, very early. Again, so that way you can have all of those questions answered before you even start advertising or talking to students. Or you could start by talking to students and see where their interest might lie and what might be the most appealing to your students.
Some advice I guess I would give to somebody looking to set up this type of program, at least from the way that we have run our model, is to look for some faculty that perhaps you could shoulder tap. So who has a relationship, who has experience abroad? In the Kelley School of Business, we have a lot of faculty that have international experience that maybe haven't taught an immersion course, right? So that might be for us, like putting that information out there to perhaps a department chair to say, hey, we're looking to start this program, and they can disseminate that to their faculty to see who might have that connection. Exploring other best practice models at other institutions, I think would be a great approach. Thinking about what resources you have. So do you have resources to commit to a budget? What kind of fees do you want to start charge students? But then it would be really important to also think about what is the demand to run one of these before you get too far along in the planning process. As we found that the demand is pretty high, but there's also competing priorities with other curricular requirements. So there are terms when students have a required core class, and we found that there's less interest for these immersions simply because they can't take another class that term. So thinking about all the factors that may impact your particular program, as well also just the acknowledgement that these take a lot of time to plan and run and execute, and who is going to be doing that planning process. And for advice, definitely would be really defining what the role of the faculty is in terms of what you're asking them to do, in terms of coordinating visits abroad, what their role is in that planning in terms of the academic components, and then what is the role of the staff that are going or of the planning team to make sure that it's aligned and equitable. In our model, the faculty are solely responsible for those academic components in terms of having those contacts, planning those visits, and building those relationships. We can help with things like, they need a list of students to enter into the company, for example, but the faculty are those main point people. We found that that's really helpful to set up for success, because it is also a long planning process. So we're really building that relationship with that faculty.